Some people walk into a room and notice nothing. Others walk into the same room and instantly feel the tension, the hidden emotions, the subtle details no one talks about. They notice the pause before someone answers, the glance that lasts half a second too long, the pattern behind people's decisions. It almost feels like they're seeing a different version of reality, one layered beneath the obvious. So what makes certain people able to see what others don't? One of the first things that sets these people apart is their unusual relationship with silence. Most people rush to fill silence. It feels awkward, like an empty space that needs to be patched immediately. But people who see what others don't, they wait. And in that waiting, things start to reveal themselves. When you stop talking, others start showing who they really are. There's a famous behavioral observation that the person who speaks less in a conversation often learns more, simply because they're observing instead of performing. It's like sitting quietly in a forest. At first you hear nothing, but if you stay still long enough, you start noticing every movement, every sound, every hidden life around you. Another trait is that these people are fascinated by patterns, not just events. Most people focus on what happened, but those who see deeper focus on why it keeps happening. They don't just notice that someone canceled plans. They notice that this person always cancels when responsibility appears. They don't just see success. They see the habits behind it. Our brains are naturally wired to look for patterns, but most of us are distracted by notifications, deadlines, and the endless scroll of content. The few who slow down enough to connect the dots begin to see something powerful. Human behavior is surprisingly predictable, and once you see the pattern, it's almost impossible to unsee it. Kind of like noticing a plot twist early in a movie and then watching everyone else be shocked later. A third characteristic is their comfort with being misunderstood. This one is subtle but important. When you see things others don't, you often sound strange when you try to explain them. People might say you're overthinking, being dramatic, or reading too much into things. And honestly, sometimes they might even laugh it off. But people who perceive deeply aren't chasing approval. They're chasing understanding. There's actually research showing that individuals who think more independently tend to tolerate social discomfort better. In simple terms, they're okay with being the odd one out if it means staying true to what they see. And let's be honest, history is full of people who were called weird, right before they were called brilliant. Finally, people who see what others don't have a habit of questioning the obvious. Not in a rebellious, conspiracy theory way, but in a curious way. They don't automatically accept things just because everyone else does. They ask quiet questions in their mind. Is this really true? Is there another explanation? What's being left unsaid here? This kind of thinking is powerful because most social realities are built on assumptions. Once you start examining those assumptions, entire perspectives begin to shift. It's like realizing that the map isn't the territory. It's just a simplified version of it. Here's the interesting part. This ability isn't some rare superpower reserved for a few gifted people. It's more like a muscle that most of us never train. Slow down. Observe more. Listen longer than feels comfortable. Question things gently but consistently. Over time, you'll start noticing details that used to pass you by. And when that happens, something strange occurs. The world doesn't actually change, but the way you see it does. And sometimes, that changes everything.